Yes, this is Pikmin 2, and I'm doing an Unaliveless run. Uh, in an Unaliveless run, what you need to do is you need to make sure that none of your Pikmin get unalived. I don't know if the Twitch algorithm cares if you say the word that if you say the word that I'm saying in place of, if I'm saying unalived in place of, but I don't want to mess with the algorithm because I want to see where this goes. Oh. Why are you angry? Is it just that one animation that makes it angry? Okay. It's just menu transitions that are kind of make it angry. Gotcha. Okay, so Bublax Kingdom and Snagarit Hole. I have a feeling that I'm going to need a lot more spicy sprays, so I'm gonna grab a bunch of white Pikmin and get sprays. And I'm gonna go over here, over to the bitter berries. Louis will need at least 50 Pikmin. Oh, there's the mold. Okay. That's annoying. The mold will prevent the berry plants from growing. So these berries basically allow you to have like special temporary power-ups for either your Pikmin or a temporary nerf against enemies. The bitter sprays will petrify. Turn me down a bit. Sorry. The bitter sprays will petrify the enemies and make it very easy for me to kill them. Oh, it's still too loud. Fuck. Yeah. Okay. So the bitter sprays will make it easier for me to kill enemies. But the spicy sprays will superpower my Pikmin, which makes it easier for okay, it'll petrify the enemies and freeze them in place so they can't move. Which is kind of critical when you're dealing with some of the more annoying bosses in this game. Okay, and we want 25 on each of these. Then have Louis stand over to the side so that he's not within range of the Pikmin going back into Louis' cadre. And now those 10 Pikmin will go back to the ship and drop off the berries. I will get at least one spicy spray out of this. Okay. This game's Pikmin switching logic can be really annoying at times. So sometimes you'll need to like be very pedantically careful in order to make sure that like only the right Pikmin gets swapped out. So all I need is 5 more bitter berries, and then I'll be able to have a bitter spray. And with 1 bitter spray and 2 spicy sprays, I think I may be able to clean out the rest of the Bublax Kingdom. I think the thing that I kind of chickened out on was the fact that there was a water area. Either that or was the evil level. One of the two. Okay, so... Okay, so I want the flowers. So put these away. And grab those. And then have these grab this last bit of spicy berries, just so I have insurance. Properly using the spicy and bitter sprays is basically the only way you can really survive an Unaliveless run. Go down to 20. Alright, have to wait for them to get into the onion. Go down, go to 20. And then get the rest with blues, just in case. I'm pretty sure this wasn't the one where there was a surprise water section. But I want to be sure. And now they're singing happy, because none of them are going to die. Oh, I don't want to be blue. I want to be Olimar. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that the red Pikmin are the one that have the most population in the onion, so if I have to convert one of my Pikmin colors, it's probably going to be the red ones. So, until I find the floor with treasure that I missed, I'm pretty much going to just run straight for the hole. Bublax Kingdom doesn't have any sealed holes, so I'm pretty sure I can get away with just like, YOLOing straight to the hole. Okay. It's not this one. Okay, thought that was the one where the Mitites show up. I know that Mitites are always guaranteed to show up in this hole somewhere. In this floor somewhere. I just forget where. Ah, there's the hole. Go down here. It is so weird that, like, when I do this VTubing stuff on Linux, I have blink detection, but when I do it on Windows, I don't. Okay, I actually do need more purples. Mostly so I can pick up the dumbbell in the Wistful Wild. Oh my gosh, it's this freaking one. Oh my gosh. Of course I missed the gold beetle one. And of course I die to that. Okay. So this is the pain of the Unaliveless run. Electricity kills your Pikmin instantly. Getting squished kills your Pikmin instantly. Explosions kill your Pikmin instantly. Can't you just save state and restore from that? I only save state scum if I have at like 10 tries on the floor. Otherwise, I'm just going off of muscle memory to hit the soft reset combination. Besides, I want to have at least some semblance of trying to do this the normal way. That way you lovely Twitch viewers won't think I'm just a lowly cheater or something. I do actually have the cheat engine in Dolphin enabled, but only so that widescreen works better. Which, of course, is relative, because this game was really never designed for widescreen, and, you know, here we are. Occasionally, on the edges of the screens, you can see some culling issues, where the game is attempting to cull things that it thinks are not visible too aggressively. Okay. Now that I have this, and because I have the dream material, I don't really have to care at the end of the for the rest of this cave, I don't think. I think that's the only thing I missed. I think all I missed was the Crystal King. Yeah. I'm gonna go through the rest of the cave to be sure, but I'm pretty sure the only one I missed was this one. Also, with the way my avatar is messed up, you can kind of see the earrings a bit better. Need to find some way to make the hair a lot more floaty, or like floppy, rather than what it is right now. Okay, blue Pikmin are the next victim. Now, Punching Man runs through the scene. Where he goes, no one has been. Oh, that's horrible. I'm sorry. That's actually bad. I'm actually sorry. Okay, I think I do actually have to kill the hardest boss of the game. But yeah, okay, so coming up is the hardest boss in the game. Just make sure that you keep your eyes wide open so that you can catch how difficult this boss is. And there we go, that was the hardest boss in the game. As you can see, I didn't think I was gonna make it there. The difficulty is just too much sometimes. Yeah, in this game, the purple Pikmin are kind of ridiculously overpowered, and if you get enough... If you get enough purple Pikmin, you know, you just melt enemies. I don't know why, but I always focus on the font they're using for the game. It's one of my favorite fonts from in my childhood. It does have a really good font. I'm using an HD texture pack for this game, and one of the things I really like about this HD texture pack is that they maintained the font. Which is a weird thing to say, but like, I've seen HD texture packs in games like attempt to like replace the font with something that looks similar but is, you know, a much higher quality, and it's just not the same. Okay. Managed to get away without using any sprays at all, which is great. So now we're gonna go to the Snagarit Hole. The Snagarit Hole is annoying. It's a Chinese font called, I can't read those Hanzi. But yeah, in general, Nintendo has some, like, really amazing font choices. I don't know if you've played Breath of the Wild in Japanese. I don't know about the Mandarin localization, but I do know that the font that they use for kanji in Japanese, my fuck. I do know that the font that they use in Japanese has really awesome looking Hanzi, and it kind of reminded me of Kill la Kill. Like, Kill la Kill has some absolutely amazing looking typography. I don't know if you've seen Kill la Kill before, but they... Oh my gosh, I'm gonna link an article in the chat where it explains the like the visual design of the anime Kill la Kill with the fonts. I believe in Kill la Kill they actually use like a modified version of the font to make it look like, even more like imposing, but we live in the day and age where we live in a society where anime has great typography. Okay, so there should be Honey Wisp here. No? Okay. Okay, so we're not going that way to find an egg. Don't need more spicy, though. Spicy doesn't help me here. Could use more bitter, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to get enough bitter in fast enough for my liking. I'm pretty sure that this hole has eggs in like the first level or two. Oh, they're over there, okay. They're fucking drowning, of course they are, oh my god. Playing this game takes a lot of patience. It really, really takes a lot of patience. You know what? It doesn't matter how many days it takes at this point. When I get here, I'm gonna wait for the 80% of the debt recovered, and then I'm gonna go to the freaking the heckin' first level in the game, because I know there's a nectar egg there. Yeah, this song is actually from Pikmin 1. It's one of the few things that remained in Pikmin 2 from Pikmin 1. Unfortunately, Pikmin 1 has kind of aged like milk, but it's a functional game. If it's your first time ever playing a game in the Pikmin series, it'll probably be better, but I have been ruined, so... but if you've never really played a Pikmin game before, the Pikmin 3 re-release on the Switch is probably the best way to get started. Pikmin 3 is not as unashamedly brutal as Pikmin 2 can be. And Pikmin 3 is just absolutely gorgeous. I think it's the most beautiful game that Nintendo's ever made, but I think Kirby Automata might end up being a close second there. That's not the official title, by the way. I just don't remember what they called the new Kirby game. But when my friends and I saw it on the Nintendo Direct, our first reaction was, oh my god, did they get Nier Automata to the Switch? And that game is now forever Kirby Automata. Oh, right, okay. I need to clear the water here, I guess. So, I'm gonna have Olimar take these and give him drugs. And I guess this bulb orb will go to the yellow onion because it is the most struggling onion in these trying times. Speaking of Nier Automata, though, the Steam Deck, I don't know if any of you have been following that, but the Steam Deck has gotten some new game ratings, or new game verification stuff going through, and Nier Automata has a near-perfect score. The only thing that it's missing, at least according to data scraped by SteamDB, is the fact that at some points you need to like manually bring up the virtual keyboard in order to type messages because it doesn't get summoned properly. And yes, running on the device. They don't say anything about performance other than it's quote-unquote acceptable. So that could either mean that it runs at like 720-60 or 720-30. Based on what I understand about the hardware, I'm more leaning towards 720-60, but given that like Valve is also saying that 720-30 is fine. Yeah, Nier Automata is surprisingly lightweight. It's a PS4 game. And I believe the Steam Deck does have about the same more power than the base model PS4. I believe that's the metric that we're going by. Oh, no. The lack of that feature is not spoilery in Nier Automata. It's probably when you're naming your file at the beginning of the game. Because that's the only point where I remember a text box ever, like, appearing. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think that there are any, like, spoilery things in Nier Automata that would depend on a text box, other than, like, literally naming your game file. Which would make sense for them to point it out in the testing, because, you know, they're probably testing, like, many games, so stuff that they encounter in the critical path of, like, early testing or, like, the first playthrough of the game would make sense. My guess is that they probably, like, basically any percented the A playthrough. But either way, it's gonna be good shit. I'm probably not gonna be able to get my Steam Deck until, like, after Q2 of this year, but by then, that means all the kinks will be a lot more of the kinks will be worked out, so I'll have a better experience than most other people will. At least the early adopters. Cookie Clicker also has a compatibility score, and the only thing that Cookie Clicker messed up was text size. So, if you need to get your cookie clicking on, you can get it on with your Steam Deck. I wonder what the battery is like with that. Yeah, so, let's consider the Steam Deck a moment to be a console. If we consider the Steam Deck as a console, then the Steam Deck is going to have the most games available of any console on launch. Okay, I probably died. Yeah, I died. Yeah, like, my tower is, I guess, kind of similar to the hardware that a Steam Deck has. I have a Ryzen 2, or a Zen 2 CPU. I have, RDNA 2 GPU. Um, yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's going to, pretty sure that's gonna run at least acceptably. My performance target, at least on my monitors, is 1440p. I mean, based on like what I've heard about the optimization of the new God of War game on the Steam Deck, the optimization of the new God of War game. Disclaimer: haven't gotten the chance to play it yet. It's on my list. Just probably won't get to it for a while. Oh my god. Overall, though, like, the Steam Deck on launch is not going to be perfect. Like, let's be real. No console on launch is perfect. Like, the Switch on launch was, like, it had a lot of things that were really good, but you could really tell that it was, like, the first like, couple production runs of hardware. They were still working out the kinks. It got a lot better. Like, there got to be a lot more games. The fact that the Switch had, like, a backwards compatibility reset basically means that, you know, like, for a while, the games that you were playing were, like, Breath of the Wild, Fast RMX, and, like, The Binding of Isaac. And I'm pretty sure that the fact that the Switch wasn't backwards compatible with the Wii U, or isn't backwards compatible with the Wii U, is part of why I have so many damn hours into Breath of the Wild. This could motivate developers putting games to be Linux native products. Yeah, like even accounting for like just the let's be very generous, and let's say that like just accounting for the first, like, I don't know, I think there's like 36 games or something that right now that are listed as listed as like fully Steam Deck verified. And you know, like, most of those are actually partially verified, but even then, the fact that it's going to have like 36 like at least semi-working options out of the gate on the Steam store, that's going to mean that the Steam Deck is going to launch with the most games out of any console. I'm kind of hoping this will push devs to make things compatible with Proton, or even SteamOS itself, but I can hope, but I don't know if it's going to happen. What I'm really hoping, though, is that it causes the community to sort of, like, rally those companies for support. Because a lot of the reason why you don't see, like, even after they added anti-cheat support for Linux, the reason why you don't see game companies doing it is because, you know, how many people are really gonna, like, spend the time to get a, like, fully working Linux setup for, you know, playing Rainbow Six Siege? And then of that, how many of those people are likely to be cheaters, and do it on Linux, where, you know, like, it's harder for people to have DRM like Denuvo or DRM like the other kernel level anti-cheat that you've seen in other games. I'm pretty sure, you know, that there's like some like risk that, you know, people are gonna cheat like no matter what happens, but for game companies, cheaters ruin the experience, and it's kind of rightfully so that they're afraid to loosen the standards. I don't know where I'm going with this rant, by the way. I am just totally going off the top of my head here. But yeah, I'm hoping that the ecosystem effects of the Steam Deck will have a lot more impact than we think. Another thing that I really hope is that Steam Deck causes the Arch Linux community to realize that they need to be kind to people. The Arch Linux community can be kind of a bunch of dickbags at times, and depending on how things go, I hope this will at least, like, encourage a bit of humility, because this will give Arch Linux, like, I think the most users it will ever get in one fell swoop. And yeah, I know the culture's kind of rotten. I mean, I know this is, like, incredibly wishful thinking. Son of a bitch. Arch will only ever see success when abstracted out of sight. Okay. Okay. So let's talk. Let's compare this situation to Chrome OS and Gentoo. So Chrome OS is one of the leading Linux implementations that is used globally. Chrome OS is theoretically can run on like any hardware, but it's most designed and most deployed with a specialized hardware called Chromebooks. Now, something you may not know is that Chrome OS was originally based on Gentoo Linux. Like, when they were building, when you had like the CR48 Chromebooks back in the early days, when Chromebooks were in beta, when they built those OS images, they literally used like portage and everything to build all of the entire system userland and everything. Google has since refactored Gentoo out of the stack, but to this day, I still think it is one of the widest deployments of Gentoo Linux in the world. Gentoo is another distribution that has a reputation for being a pain in the ass. Although Gentoo is a bit more of a pain in the ass than Arch, because Gentoo's community will encourage you to break it in new and exciting ways. Other nerds could tolerate it enough to use it under the hood, but other supers would never put up with that shit. Yeah. There were people that were like saying that the fact that the Steam Deck is going to ship a largely immutable file system. Okay, so when they say that they're going to ship an immutable file system, it means that there's going to be like two parts to the OS. There's going to be like the OS and user storage, kind of like how the iPhone or Android works. And they'll probably have like some sort of AB active fallback update system to basically allow you to go back in case an update goes south. I'm not saying that Valve designed it this way. I'm saying that if I was tasked with designing something like that, I would definitely have like some way to say, like, fuck, go back, you know? Yep. The Steam Deck may as well be a black box, just to play games. And you know what? That's what I want out of it. I just want to play games. And when I end up, like, reviewing the Steam Deck, I am going to review it as a game console first, and as a Linux PC second. Because, god damn, these friggin' cannon beetle larvas. Because, like... Yeah. I really want to see, like, how long I can last, like, just using it as a freaking console without messing with anything. Probably gonna end up messing with things sooner rather than later so I can get Tailscale running on it, but... I think it's natural for game consoles to have lockdown systems and somehow let you use it as desktop. Yeah, Valve is apparently just going to let you, like, out of the box before you boot it first time, you'd be allowed to just install Windows. Like, as the first thing you do with the system, they would just allow you to have the agency to say, you know what, I'm not going to deal with this, I'm just going to install Windows, and that's how I'm going to use my Steam Deck. And the people at Valve would probably be like, great, you know what, here's how you install the drivers. I don't know how they will implement it. Steam and games running in a container. The secret is they've actually already implemented that, and the basic technology has been used on desktop Steam for years. So, I don't know if many of you have played Linux games on Steam, but one of the major things that they have when you do that is the concept of a Steam runtime. The Steam runtime is basically what stores, like, libc and a bunch of core system libraries to make up, like, a somewhat predictable environment. And this basic technology is, you know, injected with, like, LD library path and LD preload and stuff, but whenever you launch a Steam game on Linux today, you are basically using the technology that is going to power the Steam Deck. The truth is that Valve has been testing everything, has been developing everything to make the Steam Deck possible right in front of our eyes for years, and we haven't put the parts, and we haven't put the pieces together until they announced it. I mean, I admit, the Steam boxes were kind of a misstep initially. They weren't really the best. It wasn't the best time to do it. Like, the Steam machines, you know, when you really analyze, like, what failed with the Steam machines, you start to get more respect for Apple's strategy of, you know, like, they could be first, but they'd rather be better. Oh, the immutable file system? The trick is that there's actually, like, a data partition and a system partition, and, like, /home goes on the data partition. If you've used Android or an iPhone, you've used this type of layout before, and haven't even known it. I feel like the main goal with the Steam machine was to push Microsoft. You know, if you make gaming on Windows annoying for us by pushing Xbox stuff, we can go into your market. Yeah. I definitely feel like the Steam Deck is also, like, trying to dip into that a little, but at the same time, they're not just trying to dip into it like they did before with the Steam machines. They're trying to do it into an entirely new product category. And there's a lot of value in this newer product category. And because I'm pretty sure that the failure of the Steam machines is, like, basically entirely informing their product decision with the Steam Deck. I'm pretty sure this is, like, why the Steam Deck is what it is. Oh, why are there so many flashing textures? Yeah. I'm hoping that this will help with launcher cancer. Like... I'm gonna be totally honest, it's gotten to the point where if the game has, like, its own special launcher and they don't have a damn good reason, I either just don't play the game, or I play a version of the game that has been modified to remove the requirement on the launcher. And, you know, like, when you look over the numbers and the financials for, like, being a game distribution platform, it makes you a crap ton of money. So, you know, like, at some level, I'm not surprised that the capitalism is going for that, because that is a beautiful way to get a bunch of capitalism really fast. Like... Oh, that was close. I almost died there. Where was I, though? Yeah. Like, when you look over the financials involved when you make a platform and you have exclusivity to that platform, you know, then you create a reason for people to go to that platform. And while they're visiting that platform, they're likely gonna, you know, see something else in there. And, that kind of thing actually started with Steam, too. Like, they just sort of included it in quietly as part of Half-Life 2. I don't think most people remember this, but there was actually time where people were, like, really frustrated at the fact that in order to play Half-Life 2, you needed to, like, use Steam. Which, you know, in retrospect, is going to sound absolutely ridiculous because Steam turned out to be, like, one of the best things ever for the PC gaming market. But at the time, people weren't sure. It was, like, the first major game launcher like that. At least a game launcher for, like, more than one game. Like... Okay. So, let's say for the sake of argument that, I make a game launcher, and, I charge, as part of the fees of people putting their games on that game launcher, let's say I take 10% of the raw revenue, as fees in order to help, like, maintain the company behind the launcher and improve the launcher's functionality. This means that for, like, every $1 million in sales, my company just, you know, as a side effect of, like, maintaining the launcher, ends up getting, like, I don't know, like, $100,000. So, if I'm getting $100,000 every $1 million of games being sold, that means that it is in my best interest to make sure that there are more games, that there are games that a lot of people are going to want to play and will bring in a lot of revenue so that I can get the 10% cut. And, like, as a business, if you go over the numbers like that, you know, eventually it's just going to add up to the point where it absolutely makes sense to do that. But then, you know, you run into the cable TV problem, which I guess now we can call the Netflix problem. Where every company, everyone and their dog has their own, like, game launcher now. Everything's mutually incompatible. And, the only way to get things working reliably is to use Windows. Steam share has been quite high, that's a fair criticism. Yeah. Like... I mean, to be fair, like, the question of, like, game launchers and, you know, like, cutting revenue off the top in order to help make those sales happen, those are very hard and valid questions. Because, like, at some level, a lot of those larger questions are a question of balance. Like, what do you want to balance for? Do you want to balance for people being able to play the most games? Or do you want to balance for, you know, your pocketbook being able to get more zeros in it? And, you know, at some point, like, the unfortunate reality of this capitalist hellhole that we live in is that, you know, like, the shareholders are going to make you optimize for the dollars because that's how they get money and, you know, people want to be paid. Not to mention, oh my god, it must be amazingly expensive for Valve to have all of the cache servers that it does for Steam. Like, let's just think about, like, let's go back to that example of, you know, you make $1 million in game sales. Let's say that you're incredibly, like, unrealistically lucky, and that all of those $1 million of game sales were for the same game. And, that game costs, I don't know, let's say $50, because it makes the math easier while I'm trying to play a complicated RTS game. When you do those downloads to help fulfill those sales, let's also say the game is like 10 gigabytes. And let's also say that they're spread across between like 5 different zones where you have to have servers. So if we go just by the cost on servers, that could easily be like a huge fraction of, you know, that revenue that you get, that $100,000. And then you have to add in the cost of like paying the people to, you know, like write the code for the servers, and then the cost of like paying people to make the launcher that's allowing you to get the money in the first place. And then, you know, there's like security concerns to also keep in mind, so you have to, you know, pay someone to make sure that you're certified to take credit card numbers. And like, it sucks that it's this way, and if you think about it, like, all of this stuff are just like externalities that end up happening, but, you know, someone's gotta get paid somehow. Now, like, there's also room here to say things like, okay, but their entire business model here is wrong. And yes, that is a valid thing to say. I don't know really how helpful it is because it's not actually going to change anything about the situation, but it is valid to say that the problem is dubious because maybe we just don't need to do that, but apparently there is a desire to do that, so it's going to happen regardless. I don't know. This whole thing is a huge mess, and what's worse about this type of mess is that, like, normally I'm a very, like, software-oriented logical thinker, and this mess is actually not a question of logic. It's not a question of, like, thinking through things and developing a solution. This is a social problem. This is a problem with humans, and who freaking knows? I mean, also, another way to look at it is that, like, in some way, it's good that there's a wealth of game launchers to choose from, because that means that competition is going to drive innovation. You know, Epic, in order to stand out from Steam, has to do things differently. And one of the main ways that Valve and Steam are going to stand out is by Steam hardware. And in the process, they end up creating things that define the industry that they're related to. Like, okay, I'm gonna make an even hotter take here, and I'm actually gonna throw the Steam machine into this pool for things that help define parts of the industry. The Steam machine was an abject failure. However, it let people know how bad the state of things is. And it probably ended up helping with help prevent a lot more anti-competitive behavior than we think. Like, even though the Steam machines are, like, objectively a failure, I still think that, like, philosophically, they made sense at the time. I don't know where I'm going with this, for the record. However, the most frustrating part is like the Riot, or things like the Riot launcher, where they're obviously the only reason that thing exists is because they don't want to have to like have someone else skim off the top of League of Legends transactions, because that ends up being like a non-trivial amount of money. I can tell that Riot is trying to expand out beyond League of Legends, but I think they kind of got stuck in a hole because their entire company has been defined by League of Legends. And I don't know if they're really able to escape it. Like, Riot really has tried with Valorant. I haven't actually taken the time to play Valorant yet, so... fair warning, I'm totally talking out of my ass here, but... It looks like Riot's trying to also become a game publisher as well, which would make the launcher make a bit more sense, but... I don't know. Capitalism is freaking weird. Overall, though, I want to see the Steam Deck succeed. That, like, half the reason is because, you know, like, I'm a desktop Linux user, and I would like to see more people at least exposed to it, and I would like to see, like, desktop Linux get better to the point where, like, it's more accessible to people that aren't, like, technical gods. Because, like, one of the biggest problems with desktop Linux right now is the fact that it's so damn difficult when it has no reason to be. Thinking about Steam Deck, I personally feel there's quite a few big brand portable gaming PCs. GPD is somehow niche at this point, and the Steam Deck could be different from the Steam Machine, yeah. I think Steam is going to be the biggest brand portable gaming PC. Okay, at least in the form factor. Like, I'm pretty sure that if you like look at the average gamer, I think they are aware that like the GPD systems exist, but I'd be amazed if like it was a well-known brand. I'm pretty sure that the Steam Machine is going to be end up having like the Steam Deck is going to fall into a case like the iPhone, where like other people did it first. Like other people made a touchscreen phone first, but the Steam Deck got it right. Again, going back to the game launcher problem, with a lot of the things like the GPD win or the A something, I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. A lot of the problems with that is the fact that there is only one point where that company will get money from people that use the device, and that is the point of purchase. And that is just not a viable business model. Steam Deck will also have everyone talking about what works for others. For the others, you need to hunt that info, and no devs openly target those. Yeah. Like, I rocked a Windows mobile phone before the iPhone came out. Windows Mobile, at least Windows Mobile 6 was the one that I used. I used it on a T-Mobile Dash, and that was a pretty great phone. I had a full keyboard, the Aya Neo, yes, that's the thing I was thinking about, thank you. But as a side effect of Windows Mobile being an operating system and not a platform, there was a lot of fragmentation. And, like, when you made a Windows Mobile phone, you know, like, you only really got money from people when you were selling the phone. The idea of, like, recurring revenue streams as a meme in stuff hadn't really caught on yet. I think Apple was really the one that pioneered it, and we have a classic case of everybody copying what Apple does. Oh. Like, as much as it hurts to say this, like, things like the Aya Neo are not, like, the way to get a long-term business stability type of guarantee. Not to mention just, like, the weirdness problem. I run into this type of thing a lot with, like, dealing with things on NixOS. Because NixOS is weird, it's different, and because it's not used very much, it means that there's not really a wealth of information out there like there is with Ubuntu or whatever. Now, I want you to keep in mind that I am about to say the sentence that I'm about to say as someone who is, like, an expert in NixOS. This is not practically that much of an issue for me. However, sometimes I do run into cases where it's really annoying. that, you know, I'm the first person in the world to have to figure out how to do VR on an AMD machine on NixOS. Razor and Blade model is how I believe the game console works. Like the Razor Blade? The little, like, core thing that you, the little laptop that was, like, the core CPU, and then, you could just, like, plug an external GPU into it. That thing. Okay. Every Debian user must use the ArchWiki for setting up their systems. I admit, I use the ArchWiki on, like... Hell, I've used the ArchWiki to help me set up Windows. Like, it's a shame that the Arch Linux community is such a toxic cesspit, because the Arch Linux wiki is freaking amazing. And, like, I wish I could get a printed copy of the Arch Linux wiki. Oh, it's a white Pikmin thing? Oh god, okay. So I somehow have to get white Pikmin over there. Across the water. Okay. Can I drown them across the water? Yes. No, I can't. Okay. Reset. There. I'm personally keeping an eye on the subreddit r Steam Deck, because I'm pretty sure that's going to end up having, like, huge treasure trove of information on how to do, like, a random shit with the Steam Deck. I'm sure that that thing is going to end up, like, paying for itself in gold. It's going to be worth its weight in gold. That's what I meant to say. Just remember, nothing says a Pikmin stream like me ranting about capitalism. Is this how I know I'm getting old? I kinda wish I didn't get 100 Pikmin with me so I could get some Bulbmin in here, but I'll have to live. Okay, so there's the Bulbmin mother there. Tried to use Nick's shell, and I gave up after realizing there's too many uncharted territories. I don't have the experience to figure out everything on my own. Yes, that's the type of thing that I believe is wrong with Nix and NixOS. It is frustrating to me on how hard it is for people to get started with it. Like... part of the mission of my blog is, like, twofold. Like, part of the mission is the fact that my blog was started out as an exercise for me to get better in writing, and now I really use it as a way to help manage anxiety. Yes, really, I do use it as a way to help me manage anxiety. When I'm anxious, I write a blog post. That's why I have so many freaking blog posts. And another thing that I've been trying to do with it is I've been trying to explain, like, concepts in Nix and NixOS to the best of my ability. Like, ideally so that people that are new with it are able to get started and use it productively. I've gotten reports that has happened. Like, there are people that, like, you know, join a Matrix room, they realize who I am, and they're like, oh wow, your blog is why I was able to get into NixOS, and it's good to know that the mission is succeeding, but I just wish it wasn't this hard. My blog is the prettiest on the internet. Oh, I don't think so. There's blogs that are prettier. A lot of my blog is designed for a mix of, like, compatibility, like, elegance, and, scary fast load times. Like, my blog is actually not a static site. It has a backend that is written in Rust. It's quite possibly one of the most hilariously optimized things I've ever written. Like, the part where it renders HTML, those HTML templates get translated to Rust at compile time. And then, you know, the optimizer and everything goes to town on them. So I believe that my templates are actually cache line optimized, just because of the optimization levels that I use. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It should not happen this way, but it does. There is one thing that I really do want to get working on a Steam Deck, though. I want to see if there's a way to get, like, unmodified tail scale working on a Steam Deck. Or a tail scale, unmodified tail scale, or not unmodified tail scale working on an unmodified out-of-the-box Steam Deck. I don't know how smooth it's going to end up being, but at least at first, but I would like to see it happen because the concept amuses me. NixOS on the Steam Deck. You could. I imagine that somebody's going to end up making a module or two to make it easier, but personally, I'm not going to. Yeah, I have a web engine implementation in Rust. I actually have, like, 2 services behind my website. One of them is stateful, the other is stateless. I may end up, like, merging them into one big service, but for now there's 2 services. One of them is stateful and one of them is stateless. The stateless one is the one that serves web pages to people, and the stateful one is the one that deals with, well, all the state. Tailscale on Steam Deck for streaming games from home PC. I have actually tried to do that before, but the problem is that the Steam game streaming is too smart and will actually bypass Tailscale because it'll just like do the proper UPnP incantations to make a proper connection from the outside world. So, unless, like, I figure out a way to force Steam to do something the right way, it's probably gonna be hard. But believe me, that is on my list of things I wanted to do. Like, there's one of my home lab machines that's on my desk. For a while I had a 2060 and ran Windows, just because I wanted to try to make it into a Steam machine, into a Steam game streaming machine for the Steam Deck. I might convert Logos back to that. Well, that's kind of impressive. I've gotten 2 of those bots in one stream. I think I might tighten up the authentication, the verification requirements again. I kind of hate having to tighten it up. Like, it's ended up like blocking people out from being able to, like, blocking decent people from being able to chat, but like, it's kind of annoying to play, to keep whacking bots like that. I think you've made it your Poppy Fur now. Oh no, I don't want to be Poppy Fur. That means you go on the Fur Wiki, or Wiki Fur, and I don't want to be on Wiki Fur. Oh, fucking hell, it's one of these. Okay, so, the Deathless Run might die here. These little fuckers? They will eat a Pikmin instantly unless you stun them with the purples. Oh my god, okay. Okay, plan B. Plan B. I think I can cheese this. Okay, so one of the main problems here is that the Empress Bublax, which is the big grub thing that we're gonna come up on. Did OBS just drop out? No. Okay, Edge crapped out. Okay, cool. Okay, so the problem with this cave is that... Okay, so the Empress Bublax is the boss on this floor. And this is normally one of the harder boss fights in the game. It's even harder when you do it unaliveless, because those little fuckers there will just crunch your Pikmin and brutally murder them. So, what I'm going to do is... I'm gonna see if I can get away with throwing all of my Pikmin, except for the purples, up here, and then go with the purples and go on a reckoning spree. This is probably a mistake. Oh, it's not much of a mistake as I thought it was. I'm probably going to need to set up save states for this. I should have taken that geyser when I had a chance. That way I could have come back with a dedicated hit team and done this better later. I should have taken that save. I should have taken that geyser. Either way, we're dealing with the results of this now, so... So, easiest one are going to be the yellows, since they fly the farthest. Okay, so a lot of this is going to involve, like, stun bombing. Reteach, routine, hydrate. You did show up to watch me stream, Reteach. I know your evil tricks. You said you wouldn't watch me stream, but you ended up showing up. Just as my water ran out, too. Okay. The other strategy you can do is you can bitter spray these fuckers. Then trigger an attack cycle out of Mama here. So basically what you're supposed to do is that, except no deaths. Or no unalives. Or basically do that, but don't suck. Okay, Reteach, I repost this stuff to YouTube. I usually have like a week delay between Twitch and YouTube, so the Twitch VOD has some exclusivity, but I do repost stuff to YouTube, and the YouTube algorithm does care.